All right, y'all. So I've been living in Spain since October. After studying abroad in London, I knew I wanted to get back across the pond. I just didn't know where. So I sat down. I used my handy dandy composition book, which is filled with so many things that I needed to get done. And I also have my little black notebook, which consists of so many lists. Okay. I don't really use planners if it is something that I have committed to and it needs to absolutely get done. I put it in my phone and my Google Calendar and I link it with my Apple Calendar too. But these act as my calendars, okay, because I'm frequently checking them. But I knew I wanted to get back across the pond, so I had to figure that out. But first things first, I needed to get a job. Prior to moving to London to study at the Royal College of Art, I had savings. I had won a couple scholarships, and then um, I had some family and family friends help me out. I had made a GoFundMe. So as the funds trickled in, I never had it all at one time, but as it trickled in, that's when I used it for my flight, for my Airbnb, for food, for paperwork that needed to be completed once I arrived. And I'm very grateful for that. It was strict, like money was tight, but that shit actually really got done. So I feel very blessed that I was able to do that and share that with other people. But when I got back to the States, I was starting back from scratch, okay, ground zero. So it took me about 2 months, I want to say, like a month and a half to find a job. And I'm not gonna lie, when you're just looking for a job and you need to make some money in, sometimes some of these jobs will consider you to be overqualified. So I didn't always put how many degrees that I had. I just kept it real simple. I knew that I was qualified to do the job, so I found this nice Italian restaurant to work at. And for me personally, I like working in hospitality. I don't have no beef with hospitality. I like working in service. I don't have beef. I think it comes quite naturally for me to be of service. I think the biggest thing with working in hospitality and being of service to people is that you just have to honor your own rhythm. I know sometimes people can be, I guess, overwhelmed or it can pull a lot of energy out of you because it definitely can. But I have found that, where's that music? Oh, it's outside. It's siesta time. Why do I hear music? Excellent mic, picking it all up. But it's because you're like faking the funk instead of just being real with the customers, with the people that are coming in, with the clients. I'm real with them and I'm real with myself. So I never was really coming home feeling uh psychologically exhausted. If I was exhausted, I was just more so physically exhausted. But I found me a nice gig and I worked there. Then I found another restaurant to work at too. But the entire time I was working from my computer. And something that I've noticed, when I'm in my own bubble, I know that I'm locked in, I know that I'm clocked in, and I know that I'm committed to the bit, whatever the bit may be, whether it's me committing to undergrad, whether it's me committing to becoming an intern, whether it's me committing to reading a new text, to starting a podcast, to writing, to connecting with others, to getting a job, to working, whatever it is, I know that I'm locked in. But once I began, my entire life, I was afraid to reach out to people to ask for help. I would wait to the final moment because I was looking prior to asking or reaching out for any possible way that I could just handle it on my own without having to reach out. But as I've gotten older, ironically, I have found myself putting my pride aside and putting away any fear that conjures up in my body, in my spirit, in my mind to have the strength to reach out to people and ask them and say like, "Hey, I need help with this." And so I did that. But I realized sometimes when you're reaching out for help with other people and you're just sitting on your computer and you're just like clocked in, they think that you're not doing nothing. And I just had made a TikTok video because I was thinking like, nah, like I really be locked in because if I wasn't locked in, I wouldn't be able to have done the things I've done in my life so far. Like this shit is just not handed to me. Niggas aren't waking up in the morning and saying like, yeah, Sonny, we want you to, come study here. We want you to do this. Like increasingly as I invest in myself, yeah, I have the invitations, but I've had to invest in myself first, and that requires time. This computer that I'm working on is a vintage MacBook. Okay. This was my mom's OG MacBook. I think it's like a 2012 MacBook Pro. I replaced the batteries, and I take care of it for dear life. The only thing that needs to be replaced on here, honestly, is the charger because it's looking like boo boo the fool, who done what and where. I don't know where it's been. Um, but my computer and my notebooks have really saved me, and they've really allowed me to remain locked in. And so honestly, I'm making this video to share with people that if you feel like you're not doing anything because you find yourself always on your phone and always on your computer and always writing in your notebooks and like reading so that you can stay on top of the game, you are doing something. As long as you're making your lists and crossing things out, you're locked in. If you're crossing the things out, you're getting, steps closer to like where you want to be, where you've decided you want to be. Don't let environments or people, don't let them get into your mind and internalize these ideas of you not doing anything simply because you don't necessarily always have to leave the house. Like, granted, sometimes you do have to leave the house to get things done, but when you're really locked in, sometimes you're only leaving the house because it's supplement whatever it is that you're doing online, right? You're applying for applications. Maybe you have to mail some things in. Maybe you have to mail some paperwork in. In order for me to get abroad, I had to get my visa. So, I have to check. I have to get out the house. I got to go mail my passport. I got to go get my fingerprints done. I got to get a background check. I got to go take new passport photos for my visa, X, Y, and Z. Sometimes the only reason why you have to leave your house is because you have to do that supplemental work. And just get it done. Like, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel the need to over explain yourself because once uh once you're able to lock in what it is you're working towards, when people call and check up on you, you're exactly where you told them niggas you would be. Like, you're exactly where you told them you would be. And that's how I be feeling sometimes. Like it should be a this is an intimate and this is a quiet relationship and quiet plan that you have with yourself. And granted, when you're in other people's spaces, you update them and you let them know, like, hey, this is what I have going on. These are the steps that I'm taking, and boom, right? And if they see you gaining some momentum, if they see that you're clocked in, there's some expectation there, at least that I have, but sometimes I have to remove it, that they trust, that you locked in, especially if whatever you've been doing prior to is an example of you being locked in. And if they don't trust it, just still remain locked in. Don't waver. Don't begin to doubt yourself like, oh, am I doing enough? You're probably doing more than enough. And if you feel like you need to do even more, acknowledge the amount of work you can do today. Sometimes you can't do it all at one time. So you have to take it day by day. This is exactly why I make lists in my little black notebook and my big notebook. And whenever I have a new venture or new journey, it's just on to a new composition book. So get you a big notebook, get you a little notebook, make those lists, stay locked in, don't over explain, create an intimate relationship with yourself that allows you to remain grounded. And remember the vision. Remember why you clocked in. Remember why you opened the laptop to begin with. Remember why you opened your phone to begin with. And, don't get sidetracked.